Your booty is mine.
Gente de zona, una vez más, homenaje a Bárbaro de Ritmo.
Keiko Forever y Alexander.
Ahí Yanmar.
Nando Bro.
Okay, today being the 19th, I went out to the boat. Found what I didn't expect because when you take a closer look at things, you know, obviously. So there was a lot of rotten hoses. That one which caused a lot of rust on the engine. So when I went to go look at everything, you know, it was like, okay, wow, a lot of corrosion and everything. I ended up pulling off the water pump and it's corroded, etc., etc. So what I hoped today was just to get that impeller in and magic happens like all boat owners. Not so much, but that's okay. Like I said, it's kind of fun because when you look at it, like I was talking to a guy today, he has another boat at the end of the marina. Piece of junk, just this huge 40-foot like walk around, you know, I would say, you know, probably in this heyday, $200,000 boat. You know, he ended up being for $2,000. I watched the guy work on it for trash, but you know, he bought it. And we were talking about that today, and you know, it's a dream. You just get things running. So the diesel doesn't carry me. The fact that I didn't get it today doesn't do, but it's like anything else. You get these little setbacks. And one thing I want to say to people, if I would have done this again, I would have just taken a look at the engine and everything before I just went off and ordered parts. I got the belt, the impeller, the paper filter, the anode. Ended up, I couldn't even find the anode. I think it's on the back side, you know, so $5, I can get to it, no problem. So I've got the pump like behind me, washing out. I'm gonna go look, see if another one, you know, if it's $200, well, I just buy a new one, but I hear they're up like 600, so I'll have to check. But the bigger problem I got today was batteries. These boats in the 80s were not built for heavy gear and heavy electronics. So what I found out was, and I had probably $500 invested in batteries, an engine bank of one, you know, and a house battery. The house battery worked good forever for the last year. You know, I'd be down there jamming out on the radio, you know, so it's driven off that, etc., etc. Over the last couple of months, I noticed that the charge was going down, etc., etc. And to the point of 4th of July, I had to go buy a new starting battery. So not only did the starting battery die, but the house battery died. Now I bought these about the same time, so this has me scratching my head. I did a quick look, not that low in water. These batteries have a charger on them 24 hours a day. So I'm thinking more that I got a better meter now that's coming in tomorrow. I really want to chart the health of these batteries. I did it for a little while. The engine bank would almost always stay at about 12.8, 13 volts. The house battery would always go around 12 to 11, you know, 8, you know, from 11.8 to 12.4. Now, anything after 12.4, problems happen. So needless to say, I brought that baby back. It's sitting over there. But it was more about where the batteries can go. So originally when I got the boat, they're back here in the aft part. I'm going to do a whole other thing about I'm going to redo the batteries. I was hoping to put it under here under the bunk, but oh no, the level's too steep. The battery just was like clunk. I couldn't fit my grand idea of the battery box in. You know, you try to be neat, try to do good things. I looked at here, putting this big storage back here, but I'm like, do I really want 2 battery boxes back there hogging my storage? Plus I have an access port right here. There's no place else on that boat I can put these batteries. I really don't have a lot of room back here. It's deep, about yay deep, yay wide, but right here's the gas tank. And like I said, all my batteries here, I'm not really happy. So what I'm thinking is to build this, and instead of batteries going this way, taking up all the room, see if I can put 3 batteries back here. I may not be able to do a battery box, but what I can do is put a support back there, a little trellis around it, so that'll stop the batteries from wiggling. And I'm hoping I'm going to go measure next week, see if I can put 3 batteries side by side. So we'll see about that. So that was a little disappointing. I'm like, where do you put the batteries? like I said, back in the old days, you cranked the engine, you went sailing, nobody cared, you know. But I'm going to put a lot of heavy electronics in that boat, so I need to get this settled in. So with that, the diesel will go on probably, I've got the thermostat coming in, I want to say some part early this week of the 25th of July. And then I'll have the water pump reassembled and back together. And the thermostat, I found where the thermostat is. So what the cool thing is, I'm learning a lot about Pirate Booty's engine. The Yanmar, luckily I have a pretty good user guide, and I'm taking it step by step. Like I said today, hoses. Hoses run about $10 a foot, $7 a foot. So not cheap, but cheaper than a whole lot of other stuff anybody that owns a boat will tell you. And I'm going to replace all the rubber on the hose. So July and into August, I'm going to do the engine, get the hoses fixed, get the pump back on there, the new impeller, see how my water flow is going out. And I want to get this. I have $500 in batteries. I want to see what the heck's going on with these things or take them back for warranty. That house battery on 4th of July cost me almost 200 bucks out of nowhere, you know, so I'm cheap. I don't like doing that. So I did get a good charger. This is on Amazon.com, but this, I don't know if you're like me, used to get these box chargers that had a little dial and you just plugged it in. This is a smart charger. I think it was $30. So it's like anything else. It monitors the battery. Heavy discharge, it charges up quickly. Low discharge, it trickle charges it. It keeps constant minder on it. How I know it works was the battery that died in my engine bank. I brought back here, filled it full of water, charged it overnight, and sure enough, when I go up to the boat today, the house bank is dead, almost. It can barely light 3-volt batteries, LEDs. I put that battery in to charge it up, boom, it's up and running. So I'm thinking either I need to do more water or something. So I'm going to be paying a little more attention to the electronics. But I can't emphasize enough, these are a good thing to have on your boat, because if I would have put this on and touched up a little water before 4th of July, I would have had to spend that $200. $30, $200. 30, wait, $30, $200, right? So you see where I'm going. So with that, yeah, I didn't make this weekend to get the motor pushing out 10 gallons of water, but I like it. I'm learning. I know where the thermostat is. I know where the water pump is. I've disassembled it. I'm doing stuff, and I like the power of knowing, because I don't have to hire some mechanic. You know, no, I'm not going to rebore the cylinders, but I sure can do a lot of oil changes, anodes, water pumps, these kind of things, you know. Just get in there and do some good stuff. So with that, had a really good time with the boat today. I'm so glad I could bring it back here and do it right. I kind of learned a lesson about that today too. Sometimes it's good not to fudge with this stuff at the boat in tiny conditions on your knees. The screws to get off the impeller plate, that was a trip to home, an auto parts store, etc., you know, that would have just been ridiculous. So for these projects you can put in your hand to clean up, to do, to disassemble, bring it back to your shop if you have some. Mine's not a fancy shop, but as you can see, I've got a big table here. I got all the tools I need. You'll see the video I did with all my sockets, wrenches, everything. So we'll see with this little guy. So with that, yeah, I consider it a good weekend. I can't wait to get the thermostat in, because I feel a lot better if the thermostat's coming in. I learned a lot, and to me, hey, that's what the great part is. It's an adventure, and I can laugh about it and look forward to it. And I've seen so many of these sailboat people, they'll look deep into the camera, 'cause I can see it. They're out in the Panama someplace and their engine cuts out on them. The reason I'm doing this in the marina and getting everything done, I've only taken like 3 or 4 trial runs to make sure the rudder works, make sure the boat doesn't sink, make sure the engine starts up again, you know, those kind of things. I want this engine tip-top shape as much as I can, because when you're out there, you motor a lot, and I don't want to rush this, so I'm taking my time and doing it right. All new hoses, new thermostat, new impeller, oil, filter. I even found the raw water, you know, these kind of things. Engines are pretty simple. Keep them oiled, keep them lubricated, and keep them cool. These Yanmars are workhorses. So with that, it was a good week here, ending of July 19th. So I'm happy. So from Casa de Kel's workshop, Powder Duty, out.
Well, that's all, folks.